Looks like I'm ready to roll here. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from FEMA Region 5 in the new media production studio designed by Automute.com in Coldwater, Michigan. The lead stories are GitHub pulls YouTube download tool over our RIAA takedown request. Tesla is reporting that they will spend $12 billion on battery manufacturing and technology over the next 10 years. Microsoft is going to force those of you on Windows to use Edge from time to time. Almost had a sneeze come up. Sorry about that. Facebook and voter registration, some discussion on that. I want to welcome you to episode 1483 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, October 26th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. You can support this show by going to geeknewscentral.com/insider or find great deals at GoDaddy at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Welcome. Hey, we want to welcome all the new listeners. Kind of a rough start. Didn't mean to make it that way. Sneezed on you and everything else. But everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome if you're brand new to the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking everything out. And of course, if you're brand new, we want you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you're on the website, get all connected up with us. And we really, what that's going to do is allow you to stay subscribed to this show or be subscribed to this show. And there we go. There's the screen I was looking for. You can get subscribed right on the sidebar of the website, either via Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Android, Stitcher, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, all those locations where you can grab the show. And of course, if you got comments about today's show, all you got to do is send me an email here directly, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, I'm on Twitter as well at Geek News. You can follow me on Facebook, and you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat, or you can hook up with our Discord channel, which is linked up in the show notes. Partner shows are all linked to geeknewscentral.com. And of course, this show is supported by the longest running continuous sponsor of podcasts. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is the location to go to get connected up and to save big money. All my promo codes are in effect. You can save big money. 30% off new product purchases of $4.99 on new domains or transferred domains for new customers. Again, a $4.99.com. Or $1 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, or $1 a month of managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. $12 to get you online, get you started. Again, what a great deal. And if you're a business owner, free trial of GoDaddy, website builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. All of these are available again at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We're coming down towards the end of the month, so if you haven't picked up a plan, if you haven't picked up a service from them, hey, feel free to do so. We've got a few days left before the end of the month. And again, brand new accounts over there. That's what makes it happen for me. So if you're a new customer over there and you have never used GoDaddy as a listener of this show, sign up, grab one of these hosting accounts, get started, do something that is basically pandemic proof. Make yourself a new business. And how much can you save at GoDaddy? Well, Geek News Central listeners have saved an average of 87% per purchase, and basically an average of $3.50 in each and every GoDaddy domain name they buy. And all these codes work. They've been out there for a while, but we definitely want you to use them. And your support keeps this podcast running, keeps me online, keeps the rent paid, keeps everything going here. And of course, we want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you say hello. We want to hear from you. Just do a check-in. Say hi, Todd. That would be great. Of course, if you're on YouTube Live or anywhere else, Twitch, Twitter. I think we're still on Periscope. No, we're not on Periscope. We're on, on Twitch. So make sure you say hello. So anyway, hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Glad to be here with you. Again, a little rough start to the show. I got everything out of whack during the start of the podcast. I don't know why, but sometimes it just happens. The brain doesn't cooperate. So just get you guys caught up. What's going on? Saturday had a Halloween party that I went to. I had a lot of fun, and it was an adult Halloween party with a disco theme. So we were in a big barn, able to social distance, had a DJ. It was pretty fun. It was good. So we'll see how that works out in another week or so. But there was, not that many people. I'm not going to say how many because of the Michigan governor. But they had a great Halloween party. Then I worked a lot on my presentation that I have to give this Friday. I'm about 90% complete. Turned it over to my team to do a review of it and provide feedback. So I got another presentation a week from, it's on November 6th, I believe, is the next presentation at the Spark Christian Podcast Conference. I'm keynoting on that, so I've got to get a state of the podcasting together. I've never done a state of the podcast space in a formal setting before. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to get that presentation ready to go. And be honest with you, you see, I'm wearing a flannel shirt today. I actually ordered some more warm clothes. I'm freezing my butt off. And it's not even close to winter yet. But it's just like either I'm too hot, either too cold. Can't get the temperature right. I think I was having hot flashes or something. But it's crazy. And today was 41 or something like that. So, it's not even truly winter yet. I'm cold. So, I do have a blanket here in the office. I need to use that. I guess I can. But blood is still thin. Very, very thin. And I didn't last very long in shorts. I've been wearing pants now for about a month. So, who knows? I just don't remember being this cold this early last year. So, I guess I was, but at some point here in the next couple of weeks, can't believe it. I got to go get my snow tires put on. What's up with that? Snow tires. And last time I kind of got caught off guard. So, got to get an appointment made and get in there and get them swapped out. One thing it does is it gives my rubber, the more expensive rubber for summer tires, a rest and get a little more mileage out of them. So I may make it 3 or maybe even 4 seasons on a set of a rubber because I'm splitting the time November to March, I guess, on snow tires, and then be on the summer treads and the nice rims during the summer. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I got to get in there and just better to be ready to go because I know that when deer season opened last year, I did have my snow tires on. So that's still several weeks away, obviously. But, exciting time. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the content today. Kirk did a good job getting everything prepped and ready. But the first article, Microsoft purchased GitHub. And a popular tool used for archiving YouTube videos called YouTube-DL, which I may have used at one time, is gone from GitHub after the Recording Industry Association of America filed a claim arguing that the code is inherently illegal under copyright law. If they're going to go after this, they're going to go after any type of recording software that can record anything from a live stream. And this is very, very, very scary that the RIAA would go after this. Now, again, GitHub is owned by Microsoft, and they removed 18 projects that previously hosted versions of YouTube-DL, a Python library that allows for the downloading of YouTube video and audio files. Those repositories now display a message. This repository is currently disabled due to a DMCA takedown notice. So, although the notice is framed as a DMCA issue, The takedown notice from the RIAA dated Friday does not make the claim that YouTube-DL is an act of copyright infringement. Instead, it alleges that the code itself is a violation of a different section of U.S. copyright law, as well as German copyright law, because the clear purpose of the source code is to circumvent technological protection measures used by authorized streaming services such as YouTube to reproduce and distribute music videos and sound recordings. Well, it's also used by activists, by historians. Peter Riggins with the Freedom of Press Foundation dug in the takedown claim in a Twitter thread. He said YouTube-DL is a super popular among archivists and has incredible broad fair use applications. The RI stance here is pretty aggressive and out there. He added the activity that RIAA is claiming is unauthorized is hypothetical, and if a rights holders were to authorize copying, such as by distributing their content under Creative Commons license that allows it, that copying would obviously be authorized. The legal approach that RIAA took, however, does not necessarily have to demonstrate that YouTube-DL is an infringement instrument under the slice of copyright law known as Section 1201. Creating any kind of end around a technology measure that effectively controls access to work is unlawful. The Copyright Office does a review of Section 1201 every 3 years to update the list of which kind of DRM circumvention is allowable or not. Now, the EFF filed a lawsuit in 2016 arguing that Section 1201 is unconstitutional. That case is still winding its way through courts. The EFF called the RIAA notice disappointing and counterproductive, a sentiment echoed by activists who work in the field of civil rights, human rights, and hate speech. So here we go. Now they're going to go after tools. This is their new way to go. So we'll see where this leads. Thank God podcasts are made to be downloaded. Thank God this podcast, which is put out as a video podcast, is available to be downloaded. You don't have to go to YouTube and get it. You can get it right off my website. That's the beauty of this. Now, while I'm streaming it live, it's put out as a post-production, as a fully available, subscribable show. So you can subscribe to the audio version and subscribe to the video version, and many of you do. So that's by design. And even though it's on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, Twitch, I don't have to worry about you being able to access it because we make it readily available for you to do so. So if you have comments on this today, I'd love to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this RIAA takedown notice. Hey, so I do have, before we get too deep into the content tonight, I do have a section here on conspiracy. So I've been trying to throw this a little bit later in the show here to keep some of you from fast forwarding too fast. But Mr. Fixer said, I'm kind of believe this in my entire adult life. He says, our Earth is nothing more than a wildlife preserve for alien races. And all these alien races have agreed to not interfere. Sure, they monitor and work to keep us from totally annihilating the planet. I mean, how else can we explain the millions of gallons of radioactive material dumped into the Pacific Ocean from the Fukushima not killing the planet? So that's conspiracy theory number one, that we're just an ant farm. And I've often said that as well. Or we've talked about on the show, are we truly in the Matrix? Is this just a video game? And our player, like right now, my player is playing. And your player is letting you listen to a podcast, letting me talk about this and giggling. And maybe this isn't free will. All kinds of crazy things, right? Now, there's some of you out there that say, oh my goodness, this can't be true. But could it be? Could we have not be a video game for aliens? A very complex one? We would never know, right? Unless we had the choice of the red or the blue pill. The question is, which one would you take? Would you go down the rabbit hole and take the blue pill? Mr. Fixer also says celebrities are actually deep state agents with the sole purpose of influencing the American people with their agenda. Okay. On the lighter side, society's hesitance and mixed feelings on eye surgery is influenced by implanted propaganda, implanted by the eyeglass industry so they can prevent people from getting their eyes fixed. I'm not against getting my eyes fixed, but I'm not a LASIK candidate. I've already been told that. So I know there's other things out there. And plus, I actually look better with my glasses. You know who I should have dressed up for Halloween, right? Do you guys remember the character from the Munsters? I know I have his voice. Some of you are laughing right now, but I think I look better with glasses on than without. So Toby says, "Howdy, Matrix player Todd. Hey, welcome, Matrix player Toby." Yes, are we a cocoon just feeding machine? Are we just energy for someone? You just never know, right? It's kind of, if you think about it, I think it would not be that difficult for us to be considered to be a wildlife preserve. So there's probably a few human observers. That's why they every once in a while they got to come and abduct someone to refresh, to get some fresh DNA. Because you remember all the abductions that supposedly happened in the 70s. So lots of very long-winded books on those topics. Tesla, they're going to spend up to $12 billion on electric vehicles and battery production in the coming years, with 2 new production facilities on the horizon and battery projects in the works. Tesla has a lot of cash to spend. According to the Tesla's 10Q filing with the U.S. SEC, they plan to spend anywhere between $4.5 billion and $6 billion in the next 2 fiscal years. Yes, again, that's a billion. No one said building production plants was cheap, and Tesla has 2 under construction, one in Berlin and another in Austin, Texas. Lots of money moving to Texas. A lot of people worried. People from California are moving to Texas and bringing their politics to Texas. They're escaping California because of regulation, all the taxes, all the stuff. Move to Texas, adopt Texas way of thinking so that you don't turn Texas into California. The massive sums of money will not only go toward facility production, but eventually vehicle production as well. Tesla explicitly notes that the capital expenditures will be a tad fluid as various project priorities come into play. It also accounts for adjustments to existing products. At the same time, the company is still working on to ramp up Model Y and solar roof production, and new battery cell technology remain on the horizon. So anyway, there's a whole complete article that you can review, but pretty big investment. I wonder what the big 3, if that still exists, Ford, Chevy, I wonder how much they spend on capital improvements and investment in their system. Is probably a lot more. It's being reported that Microsoft will force Internet Explorer users to open some websites in Edge. Popular sites like YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram will not be accessible through IE. And they finally devised a way, I guess, to get people to stop using IE once and for all. So when the company releases the next version of Edge browser, currently slated to come out sometime in November, Internet Explorer users will not be able to access some 1,156 websites: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, ESPN. Instead, they'll be promoted to go to those websites using Microsoft's more modern Chromium-based browser. The list is held on a DLL file. Microsoft has been adding to Edge installations over the summer. IE loads the file through a plugin, which then monitors what websites you're visiting. So, Microsoft ended support for IE 8, 9, 10 4 years ago. But as of September 2020, IE still has a 1.20% share of worldwide market browsers. So not that many people will be affected. Are you still using IE? That is a question. Or do you use it at all? Facebook says that online registration has drove 4.4 million sign-up record for 4.4 million people. And I'm going to be honest with you. They were annoying. I'm registered here in the state of Michigan to vote, but I was getting register to vote like 100 times a day till I finally figured out how to shut the stupid thing off. It was in everybody's face. So their ballot box push exceeds their previous efforts in 2016, which registered 1.7 million. So we'll see. We'll see if that, it definitely was getting everyone. Did you not see, if you were on Facebook, did you not get presented a register to vote notice on Facebook? I know many of you did because I see many of you complaining about it. DoorDash is partnered with California Restaurant to build a new brick and mortar location. Burma Bites, a restaurant designed for delivering takeout, will open October 28th. So DoorDash, again, is partnered to build a new brick and mortar store. It's a spinoff of Oakland, California-based Burma Superstar. I don't know what that even means, but it was designed for delivering takeout and will offer versions of menu items from the parent restaurant as well as new items environmentally friendly to-go containers. DoorDash did not disclose the amount of its investment, but The Verge, in an email, it has been working on the project for about a year. The restaurant was really supposed to be open in March, but that was delayed by the pandemic. So like other food delivery platforms, DoorDash has seen sales increase during the pandemic lockdown. And DoorDash said in June it raised $400 million equity capital, which brought its valuation to nearly $16 billion. So, none of this is available here where I live. Not a single delivery. You can't get food delivered. Just not available. City's not big enough to support Uber drivers or anything. It kind of sucks. Google says all made by Google products now use recycled material. The company hit the goal ahead of its 2022 product. So how much? According to Google, the back cover of the Pixel 5 is made with 100% recycled aluminum, and the Nest Audio has 70% recycled plastic with the sustainable fabric cover. It introduced with the Nest Mini last year, and on the newest Nest thermostat, the trim plate, the part that attaches the wall, is made from post-consumer recycled plastic. Google said in September it will run its operation carbon-free by 2030. It's been carbon neutral since 2007. The emissions it generates burning fossil fuels are offset by its investments in renewable energy and other initiatives. In addition, the company says it's committed to using recyclable or renewable material in at least 50% of all plastics used across all of its hardware products by 2025, and is working to achieve a zero waste to landfill certification on all of its final assembly manufactured sites by 2022, meaning the majority of waste from those operations will be recycled. You hate to say it, but there is so little money in recycled stuff. Go ahead and you might as well donate stuff to recyclers because, well, here's something many of you don't know. Many of you probably will be dismayed to know that if you have a recycled paper, recycled plastic, and glass, if you have separate trash cans, the high majority of those are not really truly separated. They will go to the dump in many instances together because there's no marketplace for that recycled material. Some cities do have a good program, but a lot of cities, they have a recycling program, but many times that product that you're separating goes straight to the trash, to the same place your rest of your trash goes. So, check out your cities. Let me know what you find out on that. If they actually have a program. Do they burn paper and stuff like that, or do they recycle it? What do they really do with that? A study shows which messengers leak your data, drain your battery, and more. And this is kind of an interesting review. So like LinkedIn, it leaks up to 50 megabytes, unauthorized copies of private information, up to 50 megs, getting servers to download large amounts of data, again, through JavaScript, running potential malicious code on link preview servers. So all these little things, they've come up with a list of which one. Now, green means good, X means bad in this list. So Facebook Messenger does unauthorized copies of private information. Instagram does as well. They talk about some fixes that have been in, so stuff that's leaking data. So it just goes on and on and on. So it gives you a little bit of detail on what's going on with your apps that you're using every day, and a detailed explanation of what each of those tests mean. Facebook is launching a free cloud gaming service on Android and the web. They designed the gaming tab to help users find new games to play. So you'll not require any controller or special hardware to play the game. Again, this is in beta on Android and on the web. And what kind of games have they got? A little driving games. What else? You can play tennis. I'm looking at some of the stuff that they've got here. So I guess this is available for those of you on Android and those of you that are on Facebook on the web. You can play some of this free cloud gaming. Some more stuff to suck up time on their platform. All right, it's time for those lists to start coming out at the end of the year. Best streaming device for 2020. Best overall, Chromecast with Google TV. I would almost agree with that. Best for Alexa users, the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Of course, best for Apple users, Apple TV 4K. Best for upscaling content, the NVIDIA Shield TV. Best remote control, the Roku Ultra. The best dual function streaming speaker, the Roku Stream Bar. Best budget stick for 1080 TVs, the Amazon Fire TV Stick Lite. And the best gaming console for streaming courses, the Xbox One. But Chromecast with Google TV, I agree. Great product. And I think you'll all enjoy it. Most of the stuff that you're able to do is there. I still love my Roku, though. All these TVs in here are Roku TVs. And they work great. So what if you want a steak on Mars? Well, it's not like you can load up some Holsteins and take them with you. Meat on Mars, ALF, ALEPH Farms, wants to serve slaughter-free steaks in space. The Israeli company aims to make extraterrestrial food production a thing after successfully making a tiny beefsteak on the International Space Station. So the crew of the ISS has gotten good at producing salad greens in space. But what about something with a little more protein? Israeli company ALF Farms is dreaming up space beef and committing to a solar system where astronauts can chow on cultivated meat on the moon of Mars. What about I've never had a Burger King, what you call it, burger? The one that's not a hamburger. But anyway, they announced of its launch of its ALF Zero space program focused on one day establishing large-scale meat cultivation called biofarms in extraterrestrial environments. The company specializes in what it describes as slaughter-free steaks grown from animal cells. So, interesting. I wonder what it tastes like. Uyghur announced a successful 3D bioprinter experiment on the International Space Station. It involved assembling cells harvested from live animals into a tiny piece of muscle tissue, essentially a mini beefsteak in space. It must have been very mini. So, like a little chew of jerky, maybe. Anyway, that's what's going on. Space news. So that's how you're not going to get any, can you imagine the cost of transporting an actual T-bone? to Mars. You need the budget of Elon Musk to be able to afford a T-bone to be spaced in, not flown in, spaced in. Zoom starts rolling out end-to-end encryption. E2EE is available as a technical preview for free and paid users. So if you need more encryption on your Zoom meetings, like we really don't want any more, I guess some people may need high security. So you can activate E2EE on Zoom's latest desktop client, Android app, and Zoom Rooms starting today. It'll be available on iOS soon after Apple approves an app update. You have to turn it on in your settings. So more detail link will be up in the show notes. Uber, well, they've teamed up with American Express to offer free Eats Pass membership. Now, again, if you live in a city and you have Uber and you can get Uber Eats, this is fantastic. So the perk is available for U.S. consumers of their Platinum, Gold, or Green Card. And I still have a American Express Green Card. I don't know why. I still have it. It's a business card. I use it rarely. I think I definitely downgraded it 4 or 5 years ago because I was using it for the American Express clubs that they have in several airports I was traveling through. But I really did the math equation on it, and I could have ate at a 5-star restaurant multiple times and still came out ahead in having the platinum membership for American Express. So I got the green card now. I think it's $75 a year, whatever it is. And but you get free Eats Pass membership. I guess that's good. Eats Pass Uber Eats, a $10 monthly subscription service providing unlimited free delivery and a 5% off restaurant orders over $15. Subscribers can also get free delivery and groceries over $30 in certain markets. Card members have to enroll by December 31st, 2021. So, and I'm sure they want you to pay with your American Express card. I see no advantage to American Express anymore, to be honest with you. What's to be used? I've got a true story about fueling an airplane with an American Express card once, many, many years ago. We couldn't have done what we're doing without it because our government credit card, that they were not taking them. Our Cadillac just were not taking them because the government had been slow in paying the bill, and they basically, yes, the U.S. government gets cut off from buying stuff. So had to have a way to fill the airplane full of fuel to get out of there, and my American Express card worked real well. That was an interesting travel claim. But, that's what people used to brag about, has it's unlimited. Well, that unlimited's cool till that bill comes in 30 days. Apple's reportedly plans revamped AirPods for as early as next year. New AirPods and the AirPods Pro could be on the way. And maybe no stems. That's the rumor. Of course, the $99 HomePod Mini is available as well. And I'll probably be doing my upgrade on my iPhone. I was looking at the pricing the other day. Whew. Not a cheap endeavor. LG's new wireless earbuds add active noise cancellation, and they also have the germ-killing case. It's got a UV light in it. So the LG new tone-free FN7 is got noise cancellation now. So pricing to be determined. The FN7 looks very similar to the FN6. They've got silicone ear tips and a twist fit vortex rib design meant to maximize passive noise isolation. In other words, they got to get it in there that no noise can get around the buds. Same thing with the AirPods Pro. Anchor's FCC filing hints at a second-gen Amazon Echo Buds with wireless charging. They could have a new case, too. So basically, the FCC often gives way to stuff that may be in the pipeline. So no different this time. Lots of earbud news. SpaceX. Well, SpaceX Starlink to go south for the first time with planned deployment in Texas. Starlink's first southern deployment focuses on students who lack home internet. They've agreed to provide internet service to 45 families in a Texas school district in early 2021. An additional 90 families later on, the school districts announced last week. The announcement by Ector County Independent School District in Odessa, Texas, said it will be the first school district to utilize SpaceX satellites to provide internet for students. The project will initially provide free internet service to 45 families in the Pleasant Farms area of South Ector County. As the network capabilities continue to grow, it will expand to serve an additional 90 Ector County families. So early 2021, the total cost is $300,000, half of which is being provided by Chiefs for Change, a nonprofit group for school district leaders. According to the Odessa American, families are selected will get their internet service free for 1 year. It's not clear whether any of the money is going to SpaceX. The school district has some costs as it plans to identify the families who will get the service and facilitate delivery of the necessary equipment to those homes. There's no other word on southern U.S. locations yet, nothing on northern U.S. locations either, because, they said sometime this 2020 we would start seeing beta in the northern part of the United States and southern Canada, but they've got 600 satellites up, but nothing yet. I've got no new notifications from Starlink. Chromebook is gaining market share as education goes online. This should not be a surprise. The PC market growth in quarter 3 2020, Chromebook shipments spiked. IDC now reports 90% growth in Chromebook shipments year on year compared to 15% growth in all PCs volume-wise. Chromebooks accounted for 11% of total PC shipments last quarter. Wow, that's really amazing. It really, really is. The threat of market loss to Chromebooks is at least part of what's driving Microsoft's push to move Minecraft players over to Microsoft accounts. For 25 years or more, Microsoft has been able to count on the fact that most users would be exposed to Windows as children as they grew up in a Windows ecosystem. Even the explosive growth of mobile and Microsoft's failure to gain market share didn't threaten that because the majority of people still had a computer, and that computer ran on Windows. But Chromebooks, that's a new threat. Chromebook introduction starts when these kids are in school right now. And if Microsoft can't count on education systems to effectively serve as a familiarization and training routine for most of its eventual customers, it has to build support and brand inclusion in other places by making Microsoft accounts a requirement for gaming or Office 365. I've tried to do, they've got this product, this Office Meet product or something like that. I've yet to have a successful connection with that thing. Some of their stuff just doesn't work. And of course, Chromebook pricing can start around $250 and go all the way up to about $1,000 or more for some of the more powerful machines. But how many of you have gotten one of your kids a Chromebook because they're at doing school at home? Water, well, water is necessary for life. And they say water may have been found in new locations on the moon, specifically maybe trapped in gas. Now, okay, that sounds difficult. In recent years, a number of studies have turned up what appears to be water in some locations on the moon, although the evidence wasn't always decisive. Today, NASA is announcing that it has used SOFIA, the airborne observatory, to spot clear indications of water in unexpected places. But the water may be in a form that makes accessing it much harder. Separately, analysis of spots where water could be easy to reach indicate that there's more potential reservoirs than was previously suspected. So, anyway, NASA turned on its infrared observatory that's on that 747, SOFIA. And one of SOFIA's instruments is sensitive wavelengths in the area of 6 micrometers. The faint object infrared camera for SOFIA telescope, and that's critical because while water can absorb and emit at this wavelength, hydroxyl groups cannot, so anything detected is definitely water. So definitely a lot of places in the shade on the moon. So anyway, the link will be up in the show notes. You can check that out. There's a rumor that the James Bond film No Time to Die explored a $600 million sale to streaming services. Apple, Netflix, and other streaming services explored the possibility of acquiring No Time to Die. And the film's release has been postponed multiple times, and it's going to be moved back to November. Or it was moved back to November before being pushed into 2021. MGM has reportedly lost between $30 million to $50 million due to delays. Bloomberg first reported discussions which have been the topic du jour in Hollywood this week. So we'll see. However, insiders say that this sale was explored overtly, and MGM was at least open to the possibility of cutting it loose to someone. $600 million is what they wanted. Wow. How many want people save on car insurance? Of course, that's usually the advertisement for Geico, right? Well, according to Engadget, saving on car insurance by shopping with the Zebra. People lock in a lower interest rate with the Zebra save an average of $368 per year. That sounds pretty good. But, I don't think all insurance companies are the same. In Hawaii, Geico was the way to go. Here in Michigan, USAA for me is the way to go. So how about you? Check out the Zebra. Car insurance. Save yourself an average of $368. YouTube, they revamped its mobile app with new gestures, video chapter list, and more. So if you do much YouTube on a mobile device, the change relocates some elements, adds new features like an expanded set of gesture-based navigation options and updating the existing ones. We know video chapter introduced in May is an easier way to get to the good part of a video without having to manually force a fast forward. So anyway, definitely check that out. Of course, you'll see the app update as well. And they got a good, if you use YouTube mobile a lot, there's some things you want to look at in this article that help you navigate the update to the app. So this one's largely for California, but here's the thing. How California goes sometimes goes the rest of the nation when it comes to privacy, and to some ballot measures that are put in place, they seem to have an effect to follow throughout the United States. And we know that California enacted the CCPA in 2018. But it appears the initiatives are not completely done. For those of you in California that get to vote, Prop 24 is different from the California Consumer Privacy Act. Prop 24 asks consumers, under Prop 24, consumers could ask companies not to share their data, in addition to not selling it. Proponents say adding the word share would let consumers tell a business to stop showing them targeted ads, the intention of the 2018 law. Tech companies argue that ad targeting isn't a sale of your data, even though they make money from the transaction. The proposition also limits a provision that lets companies avoid fines altogether if they fix violations within 30 days. It makes it easier for consumers to sue companies over preventable data breaches. It also forms a new government agency specifically enforcing the law, the California Privacy Protection Agency. Of course, California's out of money, so I don't know how they do that. Under the current law, the California Department of Justice is responsible for enforcement, although the Attorney General warned in 2018 that the agency didn't have the funding to do the job. Prop 24 requires the state to provide at least $10 million every year to fund this new agency. Prop 24 would apply to fewer businesses, and there's some history about who supports Prop 24, how it got going. So a good thing for you to review if you haven't voted yet. Definitely check that out, again, specifically for California listeners. Apple's next-gen Airpods Pro might not have their iconic stem. That's the word. The updated entry-level AirPods may look more like the current AirPods Pro. So that's a rumor. Now, here's something to think about. We talked about us being an ant farm, right? There are 1,004 nearby stars, nearby being relatively close, right, by the speed of light or by warp 10, where an alien astronomer could detect life on Earth. So there's 1,004 nearby stars where, again, an alien astronomer could detect life. Now, let's just be clear. 1,004 stars. A star is a sun. So there's not like there's going to be anybody on a sun. No alien astronomer. It will be on one of the planets circling one of those 1,004 stars where an alien astronomer could detect life on Earth or monitor what's going on. There are more than 4,000 known exoplanets currently, and most of them were identified with the Kepler Space Telescope. So that could be 4,000 different planets circling, I guess, these stars. Duh. So they could find out about us. So kind of interesting to think about, right? All right, folks, I want to remind you, we've got great content on geeknewscentral.com. So every week, lots of new stuff going on. A recent article, Home Needs Disruption and Innovation. So there's a good article that was written by Andrew on the website. We've got one about the Merriam-Webster. I almost forgot. Irregardless is now an official word in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I am vindicated. Yes, I am. Irregardless. And I'll be using it a lot more now. I know some of that makes you cringe, but hey, that's life. So anyway, make sure you get over geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content. We're getting close to the end of the month, which means my writers have used up just about all my writing budget. Yes, we have a writing budget. But if you like the content over there, here's the key. The more people we get to support the show by becoming an insider, the more writing I can budget. Right now, I have a limited budget on what is allowed to be spent every month by our writers. And I have to really kind of keep an eye on that so I can still pay the rent, right? So we definitely want you to consider that when you're knowing that the Geek News Central podcast, the Geek News Central website, everything that we do here is funded through the sponsor and or donations to the show. And I want to encourage all of you to become insiders. And really, this is something that you can do. It's simple. You can start at $2 a month or make a one-time annual donation. Set a calendar event to do a donation to the show. Or you can go, basically I've got automated payment systems, $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, and $25 a month. We've got a number of sustaining donors that are on the $25 a month plan. That's fantastic. Those types of donations go a long, long way. So I wanted you to know that. So again, I want to thank everyone. And of course, I've got some commentary tonight that I believe that came in via email. And let me make sure before I announce the person's name. So I'll just call. Well, this person is. It's from Jim, and I don't know where Jim's from. He said, "Dear Todd, you are so right about the mainstream media. 93% of the media, 93% of the news media is trying to affect the outcome of this election. They even admit it. Now, here's a key point. They're not reporting news. The news media is not reporting news, but is a political machine. This tells you at once that the mainstream media is dishonest. I think everyone in America should boycott the mainstream media. And I am, and so is my family and many of my friends. Also regarding censorship by tech giants. This is very, very scary. Very scary. Even if you agree with the censor now, at a later date, you will be censored. This needs to be stomped out. We are only a few years away from being the United States of China." So thanks, Jim, for your commentary. It's definitely appreciated. Let me go back here. See what else. I've got an email from... I don't know if I read this or not. I don't think so. I got this from Andrew. He said, "Todd, I have to admit to struggling with the issue of free speech and social media. It came home to me when my daughter turned 13 and was allowed to use TikTok. We chat about responsible use and what to do if she was contacted inappropriately and all that good parent stuff. But she'd only be using it a few weeks before she asked me about some ridiculous theory somebody had been spotting on TikTok. I did read this, but I'll go ahead and continue to read it again. As a parent, you can't review every 30-second clip on the platform. While she's pretty good at spotting nonsense, you really wonder how much gets past her, even subconsciously, and she's smart with a caring parent. And those are just people who think it's cool to support a conspiracy theory. Consider a coordinated approach by foreign actors. Let's say that a COVID-19 vaccine comes out and it works, but a foreign state shows disinformation about the vaccine to prolong the pandemic in the United States and destabilize the economy further. That might be hypothetical, but it's entirely possible. Andrew, have you been watching what's going on here in America? I don't know what the right approach is. We need to protect free speech, but eliminate outright lies and defamation. It's a fine line to tread. Regards, Andrew. And Andrew is not in the United States. Andrew lives outside of the United States. Let's see here. All right, that's it. That's all I had for emails. If you have any comments on the last couple of shows, we want to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. Don't forget to support our sponsor, GoDaddy. And if you want to become an insider, again, geeknewscentral.com/insider. I can't say that your donation is tax deductible because it isn't, but your donation does go a long way here because I do not have a heating bill because I've had to turn on the heat. Set the thermostat at 70, trying to not go much higher. But last night at the compound in my loft, I had to turn the temperature up. I was just freezing. I really was. And it wasn't for a matter of not putting enough clothes on. It just, I was just froze. I really was. So, yeah, I'll get used to this at some point. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for staying subscribed. Thank you for being part of the family. Thank you for your ongoing support of being either supporting a sponsor or being an insider. And thank you for keeping your comments coming in. geeknews@gmail.com is the address, at Geek News on Twitter. So again, thanks to everyone. Take care. We'll see you next time here on the Geek News Central podcast. Take care. We're out.